Thank you for coming. I'm Kelly. Today I'm going to teach you a little bit about the basics of the mind. We want to understand the characteristics of our mind because the mind is the servant to the soul. And when we know how the mind and thoughts function, step by step, we can manifest great things. And especially in this time and age, with so much information coming at us all the time, we're completely inundated with so much to read, so much to go through. We have to stay true to our soul purpose, our soul calling, and our action that's intended here in the world. And in order to fulfill that, we need to have a clear mind that can bring about active, consistent, clear thought. So the best way to manifest powerfully in this time and age is to understand the characteristics of thought. No one's ever taught you this, I don't think, and I think it's something that we should be teaching our children in school. So you may want to grab a pen and paper and take some notes. Our mind is automatic. We can't control every single thought in our minds. The thoughts come faster than our time and space reality. That means our mind floods us with thoughts and wants and desires and all kinds of things that are coming at us all the time. It's so fast. So what's important in this is that we know that it's like a tool that's working really like a super fast computer, and it's just bringing all this information automatically in for us. So we need to understand how to harness that. So therefore, like the ocean, the mind is always moving. So the more that we can practice having a neutral mind. What's a neutral mind? A neutral mind is when we balance the positive and negative aspects of our brain, of our thinking, of our decision making. And we do that through meditation and breath work. Once we can get to a neutral place, then we can even more so, like an eagle, look down and see how everything is operating in our minds. Our mind functions best with contrasts. So our mind needs to know polarities. We need to understand hot and cold, fast and slow. So, because it's balancing and it's kind of determining this data back and forth. So our minds are structure, a process, and energy. Another thing is the mind itself never stops, and it's affected by what we put into our bodies, what food we eat, what we drink, how much sleep we get. Our mind is also like two mirrors facing each other. So it's always kind of watching itself back and forth, back and forth. It's really important to still our mind, as you can see from all of the characteristics of our mind. And that's why it's so important to do the meditation or the mantras or the aware breathing techniques. So the negative mind, the protective mind, is for survival. It is reactive, protective, and searches for potential danger. It is sensitive to pain and shields you from the forces that might disrupt or destroy you. The positive mind is the expansive mind. It searches for pleasure, fulfillment, and possibility. It is positive, it's risk-taking, it's adventurous, and it searches for possibility in every experience. And the neutral mind, or the meditative mind, is the mind that judges and assesses without attachment. The neutral mind can observe both the positive and the negative mind, and thus make decisions with discernment. All of us at some point will have a stronger positive mind or a stronger negative mind or a neutral mind. The mind that is the most powerful is the neutral mind. So check this out. If you can maintain a neutral mind, you can receive your thoughts clearly from your soul. You want to receive your thoughts from your soul, because when that happens, that thought from your soul travels to the intellect, and then it can be released through the different structure to manifestation, and a clear manifestation. So, you know when you're when you see a baby and they're looking at you and they're kind of not quite looking at you and they're looking around you at your aura? They're actually looking at your aura because they can see the colors that surround you that are made up of your thought patterns. So when your thought patterns are clear, so when you're bringing thought from your soul, that's a clear thought, those colors are magnificent and clear, and that infant or that child can see that. Isn't that amazing? So you can say that when our thought comes from the soul, it comes from like a universal place. And that release to the soul is going to then enter into feelings and emotions and the human will. So if we are in that mind, that neutral mind of non-attachment, then the color or the form that the thought takes is very clear, it's clean. But if that thought is attached to some kind of desired outcome that may not be in alignment with the soul, then the colors get cloudy and confusing. And you have results that may not be what you're meant to create in alignment with your soul or in alignment with all that is. So I'm going to read you something from the Aquarian teacher, which was created by Yogi Bhajan, who is the master of kundalini yoga. He brought kundalini yoga to the West, and he goes into great depth about the cosmic law of manifestation and being. And he has created this really interesting breakdown of structure of a thought. Each thought that is produced in the intellect is like a well-crafted sculpture. It has its own form, its own dimension, its own internal structure. There is an antra, which is the essence, which is what we talked about before, right? It comes from the soul, the essence of who you are. This antra has a characteristic jantra or dimensional proportion. So when that comes through, it comes through a filter that you have of emotions and desires, and it could even have to do with what your diet was that day. If your thought is well-being based, if it's a good thought, it's being supported and come out as a very positive wave of vibrations. So it's being supported in a different way that's entering into the ethers of this universe. Mantra or sound vibration. If we have a good thought, generally that vibration, that whatever that vibration is coming from a specific chakra. If we want it to be really healthy and clean, and it comes from the heart chakra, then it's going to have that vibration, that sound to it, that mantra. A yantra or visual form is the radiance. So, for example, let's say I wanted to help somebody, and I want to cloak that thought with the image of the sun coming up in the morning. And so I'm bringing that essence, that energy of that rebirth and the nurturing of the sun, the warmth of the sun, the joy of the sun, all of those things I'm cloaking to my intention, my original thought of wanting to help that person, wanting to help somebody. So you see how you can start to form the structure of your thought. You can actually bring more steps into it. You can say, okay, I want to do good. So that sound of doing good is coming from my heart and my throat. I want to bring that into action in the world. Then I'm going to visualize this sun rising for the do good aspect of my thought. And then I want to bring that doing good to millions of people. And then how is that doing good thought going to affect the people that it reaches? So this thought then engages in the universe in a complex way. It is called Tantra, the web of polarities that holds the essence of the thought. Right? So as we just talked about, it's going to come into the world, and that person's going to receive it, receive that vibration, that thought, the manifestation of the thought in a specific way. And then that web has a projected path of action in the universe. So we're talking about the Patantra. that do-good thought comes out, and I want to help this person, I want to do good, I want this person to feel better, I want them to feel joy, there's going to also be a ripple effect from that person feeling joy. So we would hope that person, from feeling my vibration of wanting to help that person, that they're going to feel more self-love, more self-assurance. They're going to be able to be more kind and loving to themselves, and therefore they're going to be more kind and loving to others, their families, their communities. Is going to start to ripple out onto a larger scale from this one thought that I'm structurally very clear on, right? Which is coming from my soul. The perfection and completion of that orbit of action in relationship to the essence of the projected thought aligned with the soul is called Sotantra. There we go. So all of these together form a powerful projected reality with the thought. That is its essence. If you can react to the thought as its true structural essence, you can gain power over manifestation. And that's what we want to do, right? Rather than just be careless with our thoughts, now is the time to learn how to be very intentional and aware of the structure of every thought, especially those goals that are coming really from your essence, that are good for all and for you, because that way you are fulfilling your soul purpose here, which is why we're here. We're not here to be a certain thing. We're not here to become famous or rich. We are not. We have our destinies, we have our karmas, we have our soul contracts. And so the clearer we can be with our thoughts in order to provide what our purpose is here, the happier we're going to be and the more fun we're going to have. I would love to hear your comments and questions, and let me know how I can help. Please subscribe below and ring the bell and like it, and have a wonderful day. Bye for now.